of Hanging Left. I am Matt Connarton, and with me, my partner in crime in this venture, Todd Ayer. Hello, Todd.
Hey, how are you today?
Good, good. Been a while since we've done an episode, a couple weeks, but we're back, and your sounds like your voice is at full strength, so that's good.
I wouldn't quite say full strength. I mean, I think at this point, though, especially with, the happenings that just occurred last night, I felt like it was important to make sure don't miss out on this opportunity and get online and address this situation directly. So,
Yeah.
but as usual, I'll let you lead the show kind of thing. But, this episode in general, I think is very important.
Okay. Well, yeah, absolutely. And of course, for those of you who are streaming the show live, it is currently 7:04 in the Eastern Time Zone on September 11th of all days, 2025. And of course, most people will get the podcast of this, but if you do see the notification on your social media, because we didn't really plan much ahead of time, we tend to be pretty spontaneous with these, and I kind of enjoy it that way. Actually, I like the as Todd, as you and I were talking off air right before we started the show, I don't like to know too much of what you're going to say. And I kind of don't like you to know too much of what I'm going to say, because I like the spontaneity that comes with that, even though, ideologically we're closely aligned, but that doesn't mean we necessarily have all the same opinions, which I think is good. I think that makes for a more dynamic show. And I don't know. We might disagree on some things tonight about this. I don't know. Or we may not, but of course, the event that you're talking about, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, dead at the age of 31. He was shot in the jugular, apparently, and lot of people talking on social media, a lot of social media activity about this. It is pretty shocking. I mean, I would just like to state right up front, sort of a self inoculation. Personally, I mean, I condemn all political violence. I think what happened to Charlie Kirk, I think, is a tragedy. I didn't like Charlie Kirk. I was not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I think much of what he put out into the world ideologically, I think, was toxic. But I'm not a conservative, and I'm not MAGA. So I didn't like the guy, and I didn't agree with what he was putting out into the world. And I think he was offering young people a lot of very bad ideas. That being said, I don't think anyone deserves what happened to him. I don't think anyone deserves to be murdered like that. I don't think that, and so I'm not, and part of why I'm saying this too is because I'm sure we'll get into it. A lot of the rhetoric from the right on social media is, how dare you on the left celebrate this? And it's like, I don't know who. I've seen a couple people, but for the most part, I don't see anybody on the left celebrating this. But they're already doing that victim thing. How dare you make fun of one of ours getting killed? And it's like, nobody's doing that, guys. I'm
So,
certain. I think it's horrible what happened to Charlie Kirk, and condolences to his family and all of that. I think it's terrible. I didn't like the guy. But I'm very upset by what happened to him. I think it's awful.
so I'm going to go out on a limb here a little bit and take a more pragmatic approach to this.
Okay.
And that's this. So, in my opinion, this situation is not really about whether or not he deserved it, or whether or not he, you know, it, you know, it, 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 it was someone's right to like execute him or assassinate him or whatever you want to call it. Because to me, that part isn't really even at play here. And let me go a little further and explain why I say that.
Okay.
I think that, I like to look at this pragmatically and basically state that, look, I mean, if you are making a living as a hate broker and you are spending your time consistently, ratcheting up the rhetoric and throwing fuel on the ignition, and even spouting off things such as, some really popular things he stated, like, he called for the execution of gay people. At one point, he referred to trans people as like a virus or a condition.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, awful
He
stuff.
also he also argued that it's okay, in fact, if children die in these situations where they're being shot in school shootings, as long as the Second Amendment was protected. So I have no love for Charlie Kirk. I will tell you that right now.
No,
That's
same.
that said, um, I guess I'm a little bit different than you. I don't have any empathy for him either. Nor do I have any empathy for his family per se. I mean, his children, I guess I would say, are innocent, but his wife knew full well who she was married to. And if you're going to sleep with the devil, then you get the horns. I'm sorry, I don't have any sympathy for that. And I also am not going to sit here and clutch my pearls over someone that basically thought someone like myself should be executed. I mean, that's not my own, I would think the right would even respect that. It's not my self-interest to like someone that wanted me shot.
Right. Of course.
Now, that said, what I mean pragmatically is this. Look, at the end of the day, I would never go out and personally execute somebody based on their their opinions, regardless of how ignorant and misguided they were, which he absolutely was.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never incite someone to go out and be violent. But
Right.
look, let's call this like it is. We have now what I'm now calling an anti-president in the White House because he does everything but act presidential. He consistently encourages his followers and his administration and all of these people to, act in violence and act in aggression. And he, has decried empathy. He has called us, liberals, crybabies. And I'll tell you, my friend, they're the real crybabies because they're the ones right now that are all shocked that this occurred when in fact they created this very environment and set up this situation as to why it occurred. So, my friend, I consider Donald Trump and MAGA, I consider the blood on their hands.
Well, I would say this.
As
So
a leader
one of
of
the
this
things that is,
country, he can dial
one of
down
the,
that rhetoric.
oh,
You know what I'm saying? It's his job as the president to be a president
well,
and
one of the
dial this
things that,
down.
oh, sorry, Todd, you froze up for a second there. You were saying,
Oh, it's okay.
You were saying he can dial down this rhetoric, and then whatever you said after that, I think got lost. If you could just repeat
Yeah, but
that.
he doesn't choose to. I mean, the thing
Right.
that I want the public to know here is that Donald Trump doesn't win if violence is not in the picture. He actually benefits from all of this violence. He benefits from decisiveness. I mean, you've got they're fascists out and outright. I'm not going to call it anything but what they are. They're fascists. Mm-hmm. And his little brown shirts are members of the alt-right and white nationalists. As a matter of fact, I had someone hit me up today and say, Charlie Kirk, he was really doing his best to undemonize the white race. He was an offender of the white race. The very fact that these people think that the white race needs to be defended in itself is problematic.
Well, that's symptomatic of modern conservatism, the sort of white victimhood, and the brown people are here to take our jobs and all of that, and Charlie Kirk, certainly fed into that.
He capitalized on it. He made his living on it.
He did. Something that
So I guess just want to quickly say this thing. So
sure.
To me, it's a consequence. When you get online, if we got online and I sat there and rallied up the left and was like, go out there and find some white nationalists and stab them. And I did this every time I got online, which, by the way, I don't believe. You should not do that.
Of course.
But if that's what I said, then and someone suddenly punched me in the face or worse, that would be on me. It would be on my behavior. Like,
yeah.
Good
point. Yeah.
And so they have to take some responsibility. Really, they should take most of the responsibility for this.
Well, that kind of leads me into something that I've been bothered by. Like I said, I refer to it either all this scolding that's going on because they're straw manning us. It's like the right. They immediately they talk about, well, how dare you on the left? You celebrate this, you promote violence and
I'm
this
not
and that. And it's
celebrating
like,
anything. I think this is
no.
embarrassing.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I do think it's a tragedy. I don't think anyone should be murdered, even someone I
Of course
think
not.
was such a bad guy. But something that I've also always said, even before this, is that I will not take lectures about violence, political violence, from people who just a few examples from people who a couple of months ago, when some Democrats were shot and a couple of them were killed in Minnesota, these same people didn't give a shit about
Right.
any of that. I didn't see any Republicans on social media saying, "Oh, what a terrible
No,
thing." They didn't care.
they don't care.
No, they when Paul Pelosi was almost killed, as I think at the time he was 79 years old, he takes a hammer to the head, and they were laughing about it. I saw,
Correct.
they were celebrating that, what happened to Paul Pelosi. And I won't take lectures from people who think it's appropriate that after you lose a presidential election, you go and you violently storm the Capitol
Correct.
in an attempt to murder Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi
Right.
and to stop the peaceful transfer of power. I
Nor
will not take lectures
correct.
about political violence from these
Right.
people
Right.
ever.
Neither will I.
Ever.
And honestly, the other place where this blame falls, because I have a lot of especially like people my mom's age and stuff like that, and they'll be like, you really should get on there and use your voice to like dial this down. I think people need to realize two things. Number one, like I said, they're not interested in us dialing it down. They don't benefit from us dialing it down. Number two, it's magical thinking for anyone that's even quasi-conservative to think that they're interested in me talking to them about rational thinking. They're not. They don't benefit from rational thinking.
I know. No, I agree.
So yeah, if I could say some magical thing to make this all stop, I would. And I'm not saying I wouldn't, but unfortunately I can't. And so I can go to bed at night knowing that every day I get up and fight the good fight. Like that's what I do. So
yeah, well,
no guilt on my end.
there was a lot of this after the assassination attempt on Trump. There were people on the right saying, "Oh, Democrats need to dial it down. They're being so hateful and with all the terrible things they say about Trump." And it's like, so wait a minute. So what you're really telling us on the right is because of this assassination attempt on Trump, we have to just shut up. We can no longer criticize him because someone took a shot at him. And that's the game they're playing the same game now. Oh, you Democrats, you caused this. And, it's like, no, I'm sorry. I
mean,
I
Laura
accept
Loomers,
zero responsibility for it. No, go
nor
ahead.
am I afraid of the Laura Loomers of the world or
Yeah.
any of these other people now that have, or even, Steve Bannon, who looks like a drunk pedophile uncle. Like, you do not scare me. Okay.
Yeah.
I am not afraid of you. And I am not afraid of your goons that you send out after us. Okay. We're not going to back down and give up democracy because you have a bully pulpit, because we have the same, and if anything, and I will say this to people, even like, that are on the right, but sane and not haters, like, join us, because we're the ones that will actually fight for your rights to even believe in right-wing philosophies. Now, we're not going to sit there and defend hate, but if you want to be conservative, I will stand up every day of my life and fight for your right to be conservative.
Sure.
So you should be as upset about this as we are, because honestly, and furthermore, did you know there was a shooting yesterday of children in Colorado? Where is the news media on this? They didn't say a damn thing. I'm even pissed off the news media, like the establishment media, like they all like sat there and rang their hands. These are supposed to be liberal journalists, and they all just like kissed Trump's ass and, all of this. It's bullshit.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, there was a school shooting. I think part of it is it got buried in the news cycle.
And that's the real murder. Those are the victims.
Yeah, those are horrible. And but you won't see the same, they're
no. And they're innocent, for God's sakes. These are innocent.
Yeah.
And I thought conservatives were pro-family. Like, what is this?
Yeah. I do think that I do think if it had not been for the murder of Charlie Kirk, I do think that story, certainly it sounds so callous to even say it this way, but I think it would have gotten more play in the media. But
I do too. But I'm sorry, even if you're a establishment media opinion leader, you should have the guts to come out and say what I'm saying, which is that, like, look, none of us are celebrating this at all.
No,
because guess what? You're correct. We try to stay on the side of pacifism, but we are here to tell you the reality, which is,
right.
Unfortunately, and we don't even know who did this.
Yeah, that's true. We don't have
it wouldn't surprise me if it's some lunatic person that pseudo likes Trump, but also, I don't know. I mean, this is obviously not a sane person that did this. So,
but the right will lie about it. Like the guy who took a shot at Trump, I don't even remember his name, but they tried to say that,
yeah, but it was dispelled.
He was I think they tried to say he was a Marxist, right?
I don't know what they say. The point is,
on the right, they tried to say that, not the mainstream media.
No. But the point is that, I'm here to say loudly that these people are actually making a living and benefiting from the divisiveness and the rhetoric, and if they think that, like, one article in the Guardian is going to, like, make me shut up, then go to hell.
Yeah. I'm with you. So now, have you interacted with anyone on, because I have a strict personal policy. I don't argue about politics on social media. I save it all for these types of forums, because I find typing things on social media and arguing with people very tedious. So I just don't do it. But I'm curious if you have been doing it. And
yeah, I mean, so for the most part, no. But for the most part, my friends are in line. Like, I have pretty much a private. I mean, I don't pretty much. I have a private page.
Yeah.
I'm not open to the public for obvious reasons, because frankly, I'm just not interested in a bunch of, like, hate mongers or people that practice willful ignorance or people that want to blame Democrats for their problems. I'm not interested. I'm not. And I'm certainly not interested in people that are so, it's almost like they're feeding the issue. It's like, I'm sorry, if you're arguing he defended the white race, then you are also part of the problem. Like, I'm not going to sit here and, like, champion supremacy.
Right.
So, how do I have a conversation with these people?
One of the things that has troubled me is people who are sort of, I guess, political moderates, or people who are independents who maybe are not, or who maybe are just not overtly political. But I've seen some things like, he was killed because he had the courage to argue his point of view and to use facts. And
even the media said that, and it's such a lie. That is not why he was killed. I mean, I don't know why he was killed. First off,
well, we don't know that's the thing. We don't know the motive. But people are glazing him by saying, well,
yes, guys, let me tell you something. If there's any right people out there, we don't want you to have a damn martyr. So even if it was some conspiracy, I hate to tell you, but us here on the left, as much as you hate us, we're highly educated and very cultured and well-read. So we're certainly not going to launch a revolution by creating you guys a martyr. So even from a pragmatic standpoint, this would be a shitty way to start a revolution.
Well, that's the thing. It certainly doesn't help us.
Doesn't help us.
No. So why would we? Yeah. No. I condemn all political violence.
Me too.
And
but I cannot condemn it for people that are not willing to condemn it. Meaning, like, I can't force people to condemn it. Like, God knows I've tried. That's the thing. I mean, this is not for not trying. I mean, if these people are going to continue to argue the world is flat, there's not much I can do about
it. Right. Well said. So there is a person of interest, apparently.
Oh, is there?
Well, I saw that they're looking at multiple leads, but I also saw a picture of somebody who is a potential person of interest, but there doesn't seem to be anything too solid yet. Right.
I mean, this could be another Luigi situation, to be quite honest, because I'll tell you, a lot of my friends, especially a lot of my friends, being that I'm a member of the queer community, are like, you know, peace out, buddy. Like, I mean, they're not celebrating it, but they're not, none of us
Yeah.
are going to cry over it either. I'm not going to sit
Right.
here and tell you that, you know, look, anytime someone that has chosen to spend their entire life practicing hate leaves this earth, it's not a loss. I'm sorry, it's not. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying I do it, but it's not, the world didn't lose.
I might have a almost more of a philosophical disagreement with you there. I
That's fine.
understand what you're saying in principle, because then if someone who's practicing hate, putting hate out into the world is
I mean,
gone,
I'm talking
then
about people that strictly are generating violence. I mean, if what they
yeah.
do is incite
Oh,
violence,
I know.
then
Yeah.
one less person inciting violence is no loss.
Yeah. I agree in one sense and I disagree in another. I
That's
disagree, I
fine.
guess. I disagree only in the sense that and it's funny, this is actually a conversation that I've had with people about a non-political individual, and I won't get into all that here, but
Yeah, yeah, sure.
but uh once someone is gone, there's no opportunity for redemption. So I guess in this case, in this context, I would say Charlie Kirk gone at 31 years old. There's no
Um,
opportunity for him to ever have a moment where he says, you know what, maybe gay people and trans people and brown people aren't evil. Maybe I was wrong about that. There's no
and
chance for
maybe
that
that,
to happen now.
and perhaps that's correct, but I'll tell you, unfortunately, actually these girls that I listen to online, the I've Had It podcast, I love those women. They are so fabulous.
Oh, I don't know about
Um,
that. I'll have to check it out.
yeah,
It's
you
called
definitely
I've Had
should.
It.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're two women from Oklahoma, but they're very, very left.
Yeah,
And Oklahoma City, I guess, is pretty purple, which I didn't know.
I didn't
But
know that.
anyway, but they're very like, they're almost like female, like middle-aged to like older female versions of me. Like they're just very like unapologetically progressive, and they don't just say politically correct things because they think it will not upset people.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that, if we're talking, what I mean by this again is that, look, I just think that if you're a force of evil, and see, I guess that's the difference. I think once you're calling for people's executions and things like that, and you're becoming a millionaire by doing so, I guess I'm not really interested in your having an epiphany. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to give you a pass. I'm honestly sick of extending the olive branch. I mean, I'm willing to coexist with these people, but I'm
Yeah.
not interested in like accepting them as equals or wanting to understand them. I'm not
Mhm.
interested anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I think the vast majority of them are not. If we're talking about the leadership and the ones making a living off it, I mean, they're responsible for their own actions. They know what they're doing, and I don't think that they're misguided. I think they're very much in touch with what they're doing, and they're making a great living off it.
Well, it's also always hard to extend an olive branch to people who will never do the same in return.
Yeah, and
You
I'm sick
know.
of doing it. I'm sick of doing it. We haven't gotten anywhere doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
I mean, I will go so far as to say, like, line in the sand, I'm anti-violence, but that's the line in the sand. Other
yeah,
than that, you
yeah,
know, that's
yeah,
all I owe you. As a human, I owe you the right to still breathe. And I
yeah,
owe you the right to think what you want to think and say what you want to say.
yeah,
But I don't owe you the right to defend you trying to create violence and hate and vitriol. I don't owe you that right.
yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree. Um, I don't know. I don't know if there's much else to say on Charlie Kirk. There is something. There's another subject that's been in the news that I'm really curious to ask you about. So,
Okay.
but I don't want to shift gears too abruptly. If you have anything to
No,
add
no,
on
you know
Charlie Kirk.
what? You're right. I mean, I think in some ways too, we're also giving him, you know, probably more media than he's deserved. This
Well,
is just like,
to be fair though, I mean he was a pretty important guy in right wing media.
no, no, I get that, but I'm saying
So it's
like, uh,
it is a big deal. And I mean, when do we see anything like this? I mean, this is I mean, to see someone like Charlie Kirk murdered in public like that. I mean, this is a pretty big moment. And I think
oh,
it's just
absolutely. Anytime anybody's murdered in public, that's a thought. a thought,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think it's scary.
I mean,
I'm
what have
shaken
they
by
call
it.
them? Yeah, because of course the same could happen to people on the left. So
Yeah.
I'm not naive to think that. I know.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, they're calling for it. That's the other thing. They're out there calling for like violent retribution,
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
including the anti-president. I mean, he pretty much spelled that out.
yeah. Well, okay. Let's shift gears, if you don't mind, because
Sure, no, it's fine. Because
there's something else I'm
what
really
more can we
curious to ask
say?
you about. So we do, and part of what made me think of this is that you know what they say about a broken clock? It's right twice a day, and sometimes somebody on the right may say something particularly interesting where you go, well, I'll tell you the thought that went through my head, and then I'll tell you who
Okay.
I'm talking about. The thought that went through my head was, this is not the hero any of us wanted, but in this particular case, this might be the hero we get, and we might have to support her in this. Of all people, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been standing with and standing up for the victims, the people who consistently get left out of the conversation. When we talk about Epstein, the victims of Epstein and his associates, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and to some extent Nancy Mace, although I think she couldn't handle it, and she's already fallen apart. But Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to be really standing up to her fellow Republicans and is standing with these victims. To her credit, like I said, even a broken clock. And I don't trust her. So I don't know if she's going to follow through. Her threat is she's going to get a list of names from these women who they did the press conference and everything. She's going to get a list of names, and she's going to read this is what she said. She's going to read every damn name on the House floor. Now, where I don't trust her is if Trump happens to be one of those names, will she skip over his name? And that's where I don't trust her. But
so, yeah, I mean,
I like that she's standing with these women. Go ahead.
No, I like that too. But I think that it's definitely self-serving. I think she's got other motives here. Plus, I think she's also crazy. So I don't know. I don't trust her either.
Yeah.
But I consider most of these people pretty, at that level anyway, pretty damaged people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they even, I don't know if I consider Marjorie Taylor Greene sane. So when someone isn't sane, I tend to think that there could be some kind of weird magical thinking and motivator that I couldn't even fathom. I mean, I wouldn't even go out to guess what that would be. Yeah. Because I think sometimes it's just so off the wall. Like, for instance, you've got, and she's one of them. You've got, and I don't know if this is why she does it, but this is an example. You've got all of these people, some of the biggest proponents of defending Palestine right now are the fundamentalists and like the extreme, like, megachurch Christians. And this is what's interesting about that. It's not because they necessarily like Palestinians. It's right. Because
presumably they don't.
If they're hardcore drinking the Kool-Aid, there's this whole like system that's supposed to happen. This whole formula that has to occur in order for Jesus to come again.
Oh yeah, the end times.
The end of times.
Yeah.
So if you kill the Palestinians, the end of times won't happen. So I guess all this has to sort of fall into place. So it's literally like they want to save or do whatever they want to do because it's like going to screw up the chemistry. So it's like,
are these guys pretty tangled? It does get pretty tangled.
I mean, are these your allies? I don't know. I mean, I guess they're,
But what could Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, what is her, let's assume that she's not necessarily an honest broker here and that she does have some sort of motivation, some sort of other motivation. What could it be? Because she doesn't want to get on the wrong side of MAGA.
Yeah, well, except that MAGA's starting to segment. So, like for instance, and I think it does stem from this. MAGA there's that whole division that she's into, and I think Bannon's part of it too, that
Mm-hmm.
is like hardcore America first.
Right.
So they see a lot of this like super supporting of Israel as like taking away, like they're hardcore isolationists.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
any support of anything is not in their interest if it isn't in the United States.
Right.
So this could be an extension of that, as almost like sort of like a punishment for
Mm.
not like following this guideline. And they and they're also all about retribution. I mean, also you have to think of it this way too. If you're like a lot of the alt-right, what they believe is going to happen is like the vast majority of the people on there are going to be these like what you'd almost consider liberal fascists. You know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
they think it's going to be like, you know, the Clintons and all this stuff. You know, they think it's going to
Yeah.
like expose the pizza parlor with the children
Oh
being
yes.
trafficked for food. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know if we can look at this logically. I mean, I get where
Yeah.
you're coming from,
Yeah.
and if I thought it was some sort of epiphany that she was having, then you know, five big booms. But like, I don't think that, I don't know. I wouldn't dare trust her.
I'm very skeptical about I know that everyone wants to see it happen, but you know, the MAGA, you mentioned MAGA splintering. There's a lot of talk about that and how
Well,
some of the splintering is over the Epstein files, but I think it's a bit of a mirage because ultimately, even if they're upset, because like I see people on social media who want the Epstein files, you know, want all the names released and everything, who are MAGA, but I notice they're critical. You know, they'll criticize people of in the administration for preventing this from happening, but they still they will not go after their God King, you know, their emperor,
well, because
their
Trump
cult
is going to
leader.
stop, right? Because Trump is going to pivot, and Trump is going to blame everybody else,
Right.
including he'll even throw his number two guy on the sword if it benefits him.
Oh,
Like
sure.
that's the thing that people don't realize. So it's like, and his the only really true like hardcore followers of Trump are these cultists. Like I
Yeah.
think even the like leadership, they're all in it for themselves too.
Oh, of
Like let's
course.
not fool ourselves.
Yeah.
So you know the Peter Thiels of the world, and you know that crew and Stephen Miller, they're manipulating Trump as much as Trump's manipulating them.
Oh,
They're not,
absolutely.
you know, they're no lovers of Trump. They're just all these people are such megalomaniacs. You
Oh,
know,
yeah. Yeah.
so I think it could. So what I mean by it imploding is I think it could implode like the way the Nazi Party imploded. I mean, you're going to have all these people vying for position one, and there only can be one position one.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good insight. I think you're onto something there because, you know, Trump is going to be dead and gone.
Right, and that's what they're
And
all. That's what I'm saying. He is
there's
going to be dead and gone
yeah,
probably sooner than we think because the guy does not look healthy.
he does not, especially I saw the picture of him today. It looks like half of his face was drooping at
Yeah,
the
it's not good. It's
9/11
not good.
ceremony. Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that the Marjorie Taylor Greene plan for that is probably very different than the Peter Thiel, Stephen Miller plan for that
Hmm.
because they have different agendas.
Right. Yeah, that's a good insight. The only thing is though, is Marjorie Taylor Greene, is she smart enough to even
I
play?
don't think so, no. And I think that and in some ways, it's almost worse because we actually should hope that the buffoons, the clowns of the clown circus, are the ones that take power if something happens to Trump. My fear would be that it would be the Thiels and the Stephen Millers, who are
Right.
maniacal fascists. They're maniacal.
But that's why I actually kind of wonder, and maybe this is just, and this kind of goes back to my whole redemption thing I was talking about earlier, because I tend to, no matter how old I get, there's a part of me that just still so desperately tries to find the good in people, even in
Bless your
people who I
heart.
think are fundamentally evil. I do. I try to
No, I mean
find
that's
something,
great.
and I
It is great. It
and
keeps
I
people like me
wonder.
in check.
So I wonder with Marjorie Taylor Greene, is she smart enough to
No.
is she smart enough to be insincere? And I don't know that she is, which is why I think she might actually genuinely care about this issue, and that's why she's standing with
Well,
these
she's an
women. It might be
ideologue. I mean,
real.
she's an ideologue.
Yeah.
I think that she really is like she's another one that's like a cultist. I mean, she like believes, I don't even know what she believes in, but it's weird. It's not normal. And it's not really rooted in any like official ideology either. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene ideology.
Yeah.
And that's the same with like Tulsi Gabbard. And I mean, they're all crazy. These are crazy people.
Yeah.
Even Hegseth, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're nuts and they're not efficient. They're inefficient, crazy people. Like if they didn't have Trump, they would be sitting on benches, shaking and drooling. This is what these people are. They are not brilliant people at all.
Well, Hegseth would still be the weekend anchor on Fox or whatever.
I guess, but those people are idiots too. These are not intelligent people.
Yeah,
like
no,
they might be
I agree.
manipulative or able to like get other crazy people to follow them.
Mm-hmm.
But in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, I guess. And the problem is now there's too many damn one-eyed kings. I don't know. I mean, that's my hope. My hope is self-implosion.
So I have said this. I don't think I've ever said it to you. I don't think we've talked about this. I've said this to other people. Maybe I've said this on Hanging Left, but I do believe that JD Vance will be the next president of the United States because I don't see Trump finishing this term, and I'm actually surprised at for some reason nobody else ever says that. Have you noticed that? Like, I don't know if it's because people are worried about it or what. Nobody ever.
No, because I think we're worried, but let me tell you, at least from inside the circle. I mean, being that I do politics for a living.
Yeah.
If JD Vance becomes president, then Peter Thiel and Stephen Miller are president, not JD Vance. Like, I don't think he's calling the shots.
Okay.
Just like, honestly, in some respects, I don't think Trump is calling the shots as much as people think. Now, he does have a stronger hold on them because he has that whole, like, blind following. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I honestly feel like it's possible that it could become like 28 years later, because the people that follow Trump are like mindless zombies and they're going to just like, like run into like the ocean. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't think he's going to, I think the ones we have to worry about are like their roots in the white nationalism and the pro-apartheid people and all this. And I'll tell you, even at that, I mean, I would go so far as to say even Elon Musk would be more likely involved with all that. Like, these people are far more dangerous. Like, they're far more dangerous than Trump even. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't know about you, but, like, I've watched enough, like, Living Dead. I think I could take on a bunch of zombies. Like, it's like shooting fish in a barrel,
Yeah. As long as they're slow, right?
Right. But I mean, even the fast ones, it's like, I don't know. Not that I'm condoning violence here, and maybe it's a bad time to joke about this. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, these people are just like, I'm not afraid of them because I'm not afraid of people that like are attacking me with like, clandestine pizza parlors that are trafficking children. Like, this is not someone that's going to create fear in my mind.
Right.
But someone I don't know if you know this, but Peter Thiel was actually raised in the last stronghold in Africa that still would like shelter Nazis, and they would walk around and actually like seek hail each other and stuff like this.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And then they moved to South Africa, and his family was sort of like very much at the forefront of the apartheid movement, which stemmed from Nazis. So all these things are interconnected.
Yeah.
And even the Elon Musk truck is actually modeled after the riot vehicles that they used to use in Cape Town to go into the African parts. That's actually what it's symbolic of.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense, though, now that you say that, because
so they're all pro-apartheid. They're very pro-apartheid.
Just picturing it in my mind. That's the kind of vehicle you would want for that. Correct. That makes sense. I never thought of that before. I did not know that, but that makes sense.
You'd want one that actually looked like it worked like it looked.
Right. Yeah.
But that could also be on purpose. I mean, Elon Musk probably doesn't want them to have the like militarized version of it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense too. What
But
else?
anyway,
So, I mean, what do you think? Do you have any predictions as far as where the Epstein thing ends up? Or I keep thinking it's just going to fade away, but it
I
hasn't
think
yet.
this could potentially, I think even this thing going on right now, not to get back to the other subject, but like,
Yeah.
have you ever noticed every time there's some sort of like, every time they've stepped in some pile of shit, suddenly like there's some like hysteria? And now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, um, that the assassination itself or the murder itself was like government created,
Right.
but they definitely, the villainization of the Democrats connected to that is absolutely, shock and awe
Oh
and
yeah.
whatever.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it benefits these people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
Like Fox News at this point literally is like a right-wing Inquirer. Like they literally have there is no news on there anymore. It's just like
yeah. Well, it's
they
been that way
just
for a
talk
long time,
about
I would
literally
say.
nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
I was watching them the other day, and they had some woman on there that looked like, for all I know, it could have been Big Ange from like Growing Up Gotti. And she's like, this woman that's like, I was waiting for her to melt from how much
Yeah.
plastic surgery she had. And
Yeah.
they're going on about some like real crime story on their
Hmm.
primetime news. This is like news to them. Like, and it's
Yeah.
some sensationalistic crime story.
Wow. Was it the Five? That show, the
No,
Five?
it was some weird, like, just some rando crime that happened. I don't even
Oh.
know.
Oh. Okay. So it was on a quote unquote news program.
I mean, I
Straight news.
guess it's,
Yeah.
maybe it was
Yeah.
on Current Affair or something. I have no idea.
Well, I assume. I mean, they're probably going on and on about it because I assume the alleged perpetrator was either a trans person or an undocumented
Well, that's the
immigrant.
other thing too that people don't realize is that, did you know he was actually going there to talk about the rise in trans violence? But I don't
Oh,
mean violence against trans people, but like the rise in trans people arming themselves to,
I actually didn't know
I mean,
that,
I
but
always run into trans people with M60s, don't you? I mean, it's
oh
like
yeah.
constant, right? I mean, every time I see a trans person, I'm like, I better get that Kevlar. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of a more like kind of, I mean, outside of maybe stupid uh Caitlyn Jenner, who's just a mental midget. I can't think of any trans person otherwise that's like about hate or about vitriol or, if anything, they're like these, maybe they're this like almost like a remember in Native American culture, there were those trans people that were like super, they were like spiritualists, and they would never go to war, and they were like almost like these like demigods. If anything, they're that. Like
Yeah.
seriously. I mean, if I
Yeah.
want to start a conspiracy, I'm going to go with the conspiracy that they're these very like angelic like
Yeah. I mean, I
who knows?
I have trans friends, and I don't feel any particular sense of
No,
danger around them.
no.
I'm certainly not worried about.
I've never seen one be aggressive.
I've two particularly close trans friends. One of them, I was the best man in their wedding before they transitioned. Funny
Hmm.
enough, but I have two friends I'm particularly close to who are trans who I've never sensed that they might shoot me or anything. I've never any
I
fear.
mean, I shouldn't laugh, but it's just so absurd to me.
Oh, I know, I know. Yeah,
And
it's
also,
what
as
they
if these
do.
people don't have enough problems that they're not going to go out and like, I mean, they've already got like, I mean, they even had to struggle with getting people on like the left, except for like the super progressives, to support them. So you
Hmm.
think they're going to like destroy their reputational equity by suddenly deciding they're going to go out and become like the, um, the assassins of the left? And it's
Yeah,
just ridiculous.
but you know what right wing media does is if one trans person anywhere does anything even remotely bad, all of a sudden it's see what all trans people are doing. It's the same thing they do with they call them illegal aliens. I object to that term. I call them undocumented immigrants. But it's the same. It's the same formula, right?
Yeah, but who's the one perpetrating violence right now? That's all I have to say.
Right.
Every shooter that's happened has been, now granted, not in a normal way. Actually, no. I think all of them have been like, I think they might be like Trumpers, but maybe not anybody else. Like there's that, like you said, there's that whole faction of like that Trump is the second coming of God almost.
Yeah,
That like
they deify him, and
they only deify Trump though. Like they don't like anybody else. Like everybody else is awful.
Yeah. It's these militia freaks, and but I think it all goes back to one. I think it all goes back to one moment. And people try to figure out, well, why, how did Trump accomplish all this? How did he build this cult? I think it comes back. I think it really is. There's one particular moment in time I would point to when Trump announced in 2015 his candidacy, and he came down that escalator at Trump Tower, and he made his announcement, and he was, I would argue, objectively racist when he
Remind me what he said. I mean, he's truly racist. He's always racist.
But when he in his announcement for his campaign, when he said that these illegal aliens, again, his term, he called them rapists, and they're bringing drugs and all this, just demonizing this whole class of people.
So he set it up basically
to be that brazen and then not take it back, not walk it back, not try to clarify, but to just shove it in your face like that and not apologize. I think in that moment, I think a large, and I'm not saying all Republicans, but I think a large part of the Republican base saw that and said, wait a minute, you can say that kind of stuff, not apologize for it, and and actually double down. We have found our savior. And he became the savior in that moment.
Well, I will tell you, and I don't mean in a violent way, but I will tell you in a non-violent sort of like fight way. When I go out on the streets now and stuff, every Democrat, like, they are not interested in someone who's not going to fight. They are just not interested.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where they're like, I mean, these are even fairly mainstream Democrats that are like, outside of the party, of course, but like, so many of them are just like, I don't know what the current establishment leadership is doing, but it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, they're not really standing up for us. Like,
no,
and they're in some ways almost more angry at them because it's like, look, I don't have any expectations of Trump and his mobster cronies ever behaving. I literally don't.
Right.
But we do still hold Democrats, and I think to some extent, maybe unfairly so with some of them, like super accountable. But unfortunately, even amongst our numbers, there are some that have proven to be, kind of opportunists themselves.
Sure.
Not many, but a few.
Yeah.
And at very least not having a real backbone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, please, the Hakeem Jeffries of the world or the Chuck Schumers of the world, please don't be the one to champion my causes.
Right.
You're not doing any fighting for me. Like, you're not doing anything.
Well, that's always been my gripe.
They're useless. They're useless.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I say that all the time. I'm a registered Democrat, but I do not like the Democratic establishment. I think they're weak. I think they're spineless. I always say, Democrats.
I'm going Democrat because they don't support violence. Honestly, at this point, like literally, that's it. And they don't want me like crucified.
But no, we need Democrats.
But we need a huge overhaul of our party.
Yeah, because Republicans will just run right over you. They don't care. So if we
don't.
And Democrats worry about, I guess, we have to play fair, and but we gotta fight and fight hard because
I mean,
they'll just run right over us.
Right, which is why I was even disappointed with this situation, because literally not one of them said like that Trump's rhetoric was the catalyst for all of this. And they're gonna sit there and cry baby and say, well, it just wasn't the time. Well, when is the time?
Right.
Actually, it is the time, because when people are emotional, I actually think it is the time to get into their minds, and because actually it shows we have balls, and it shows that like that's why I'm not holding back right now.
Yeah.
Because, and trust me, I was told by a lot of people, don't do that. Like, you shouldn't do this. You should dial it down. But I'm not going to do that, because I actually think I'm doing even the people that said that a disservice.
Right.
Like, I want the extreme right to know that we're going to continue to fight them. Like, with every peaceful means we have.
Yeah. And we do need, and you mentioned Chuck Schumer. The other thing, part of doing that is we got to get. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound ageist. I know we've talked about it before. We got to get, Schumer's got to go. We got to get these.
It's not
We
about
have
his
some.
age though, because Hakeem Jeffries is a wind up doll too. I mean, he just
Yeah,
is like
that's true. That's true.
like.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we
We
gotta
got to
get. You know
get
what we
got to
gotta
get these
get? We gotta
people
get
out.
rid of what is that stupid oh my god. My organizer Jason always talks about this group. That group that basically makes it the super PACs.
Oh,
Oh my god, he'll kill me that I can't remember.
well.
But anyway, they're why the super PACs have so much power.
Hmm.
I can't think of the name of the group.
Yeah, that's all
But
right.
anyway, I think we need to hold our leaders accountable. Like, look, here's
Yeah,
the thing. I'm not getting rich off of fighting for democracy.
right.
I could do a lot of other things, even focus on this probably and really push this 24/7 and get rich. And not to say I'm not going to try to get rich off this because I would love to, but that's
Me
not the
too.
point. The point
Right.
is, I'm doing this because I truly believe in it and I have
Yeah.
conviction for it.
Yeah.
And Sarah, my candidate, I mean, if there's one thing you can say about her, um, she really believes in it.
Hmm. Yeah.
She's doing it really because she truly cares about people. And even for all my little bit of, angry cat in me, I care about people too. Like
Right.
I'm
Of
not fighting
course.
just for my own health. I mean, trust
Yeah.
me, it would be easier to throw up my hands and go figure out a way to get rich quick.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I do believe, I also believe this.
Hmm.
The future of dictatorships and autocracies are not going to be Nazi Germany's. They're going to be these slow moving, slow eroding, like thing, like what's going on in Hungary, that make most people will actually maintain the vast majority of their quality of life.
Hmm.
They're going to villainize a handful of people.
Right.
And I would honestly go so far as to say they're not even going to really come after the gays and the lesbians, really, because they
Right.
know it's not a fight they'll win.
Right. Right.
So they're going to go after the low hanging fruit and the
Yeah.
most vulnerable, and they're going to give all of the rest of us breads and circuses,
Hmm.
and hope that we just become either numb or oblivious.
Hmm.
And they're going to even probably hold fake elections
Hmm.
and all of that.
Yeah.
They're not going to put us in prison camps. I mean, they might put some people in, but for
Yeah.
the most part, unless you are probably threatening even if you're talking like we talk, I think they think it's good. It's actually good because it will keep the sort of in that system. It almost, in a way, what it will do is, because what will happen is the people that maybe will take it further will
Hmm.
latch on to people like us as senses of hope.
Mm.
And by default will expose these poor people. So it's almost it's scary. It's like they're,
Yeah.
so they, but even the new dictatorships now, they actually like there to be sort of this visible opposition.
Yes.
They just don't let them get too powerful.
It's controlled opposition, ultimately. Yeah. Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're hoping that they can whittle people like us down and come to me and be like, hey, Todd, how'd you like to be the paid opposition?
Hmm. Well, it's kind of how our system works anyway, in some
Right. I mean,
ways.
they're hoping capitalism will, that basically they can win us over with capitalism,
Hmm.
because it's difficult to wage war on everybody.
Right.
And honestly, it's not really counterproductive for them to have half society hating them.
Hmm.
They say they don't care, but they do care, because it's not going to be pretty. If there was any type of real revolution,
Hmm.
nobody's going to win. Not really. I mean, there's going to be a lot of casualties. There's going to be a lot of people whose lives will get ruined. There'll be a lot of people who will literally lose their lives. It's not going to be this you know, like Age of Aquarius.
Right.
It's going to be a hot mess,
Right.
you
Right.
know, because it's going to fuel all of these like crazy angry people on both sides that are just going to like, you know, be throwing spears at each other. I mean, not literally, but who knows, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, and it's going to let all the other crazies out who maybe are just like literally serial killers who are just using this as an excuse to like start massacring people. I mean,
You say you want a revolution.
right? I mean, look at this is
Well,
like,
you know.
you know, the Mansons in the closet of the world
Yeah.
can't wait for this crap. They're like, great, because they're like, who will notice a few extra bodies?
Right.
No one. And I say it somewhat in jest, but it's true.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like, what can you think of a better cover? Like a revolution?
Right.
There's actually some. I think there was. I don't know if it's like real, but there is a story about that. Like
Yeah.
some serial killer that like, you know, comes up amongst a revolution.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I like that concept. Actually, that's
Yeah, it's interesting.
darkly humorous, but I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh wow. Well,
wow.
we're coming up on an hour, so maybe we
We
should
are.
we'll start to wind this one down. But
Yeah.
is there anything we didn't get to that you wanted to mention, or?
No. I like I said, I just think it's so important for you know, us to continue to um, you know, call out and hold all these people accountable. And what I mean by is the leadership.
Mhm.
You know, always I certainly I say I don't extend an olive branch, but I will offer this maybe just this once. I don't know. I'll probably do it again. I don't know. I'm feeling generous tonight.
Yeah.
If you're someone that like um I mean, if you're a triple trumper, I'm having a hard time with you, but like, you know, if you're someone that's sort of like really feeling guilty for that vote, then we will accept you. You just have to like, you don't even have to like identify yourself as such.
Mhm.
Um, just don't come on board and try to preach like how he was right, because that part you'll lose. But
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
long as you're okay in accepting the fact that he's 100% wrong, you don't have to tell us you accept it. Just show us through your actions.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
You know,
All
because
right,
we need
Todd.
it. We need all these people we can get to like to stop this madman. We really
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to do it peacefully, then we
Yeah.
really need everybody.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
can be done. We can
It
stop
can
this
be
guy and
done.
we can do it without blood, but
Yes.
it's going to take
Absolutely.
everybody stepping up and when you see it, you call it out.
Yeah.
You know, to quote a adage from my people, silence really can equal death. We cannot be silent.
Mhm.
We have to call these people out, because here's the thing. Once we take away their element of surprise, they have no power.
Right. Yeah, well said. Well said. The other thing too, before we wrap up, you want to mention Sarah's campaign? Give that a
Yeah,
plug.
so definitely continue to catch us. We are always out and about. A shout out to Wolfboro. They were super supportive of us. You know, we're making all kinds of connections. We really are out there and out with the people.
Yeah.
Also, a shout out to Jenny and her art exhibit coming up.
Yep.
You know, the Sarah campaign will be there, but not as a campaign, but as supporters and friends of Jenny. So
That's
yeah, come on
wonderful.
out
Yeah.
and take a look and see what's going on there.
That's it. Mosaic, for those of you catching the show live, or even if you hear the podcast before the
Right.
event, this Saturday, the 13th, Mosaic Art Collective, right in downtown Manchester, Jenny's art. She's got two pieces in this one, so she is part of the exhibit. That is from 4 to 7 p.m. I think it starts at 4 p.m. and that will be in downtown Manchester at Mosaic Art Collective, which is a great place too.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
Jenny and I will be there, and so Todd, it sounds great that
Yep.
you're going to be there.
And for the
Wonderful.
record, no guns welcome, left or right. You cannot come
Yeah.
in carrying.
Exactly. We're there to celebrate art, and yeah, Jenny usually gets at least one piece into these showings.
Awesome.
So very
I'm
very
super
proud of
excited.
her.
I've never seen her stuff, so
Oh,
I'm
cool.
excited.
Oh, this will be great. Well, we look forward to seeing you there. And to those of you listening or watching, we look forward to seeing you there if you make it down. So we hope that you do. Wonderful. And did you want to give the Boy, I'm starting to lose my voice now. Did you want to give the website for the campaign, for Sarah's campaign?
Yeah, it's Sarah C at 603
Okay.
is .com. And she's also on Facebook. Um, and she's on Instagram. We are actually going to get actually one of the people who kind of is starting to co-host with us here, Andrew Voorhees.
Yes.
We are probably gonna to toss him that running of Instagram. I mean, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
So hopefully once he takes over that, it will be a much more active thing. But yeah, but we're out there. I
Yep.
mean, New Hampshire's not a big state, so you will see us.
True. That's right. That's right.
And
Very
we're not
good.
quiet, so you'll hear us too.
That's right. That's right. Well, very good. Well, Todd, this is wonderful. Episode 9 in the books. And I'll just mention, too, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, mattconnarton.com is my website. You can find all things, all the various content I'm creating and endeavors and so forth and so on. But episode 9 in the books, Todd, thank you so much.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you for this. This is great.
All right. And thank you, everybody. And we'll talk at y'all